Boom. All right, so everyone's got their book turned in. Okay, practice guides out. Okay, practice guides are due tomorrow. Now, here's the thing I need to warn you of. When you turn in your practice guide, you are not getting them back tomorrow.
Why?
So, you need to take a picture of it tonight so that you can study it for Wednesday.
If I ask you to take a picture of it for me, do you have a better phone than me and send it to me, will you do that?
Maybe. Alright, so now, semester test is tomorrow and Wednesday. I will make sure I'll add in all the videos that I took offline last week. I took off Monday through Thursday so no one would confuse which video you're supposed to watch on Friday. So now I'll add those back in. Today all I have to do is click publish and boom, they're all magically back. And then you can watch the videos from all our review days. Practice guide is due. Homework's due today, so make sure you're getting that turned in. Okay, if you haven't already. Alright, now, big idea here. Semester test, you get 2 days, but it's got to be done by Wednesday. Even if you've been gone for review days, you are still taking it because that's our set date for our semester test. So, that's how they work it in college. They don't care if you've been gone all semester, your semester test is that day.
In college,
so
you don't have to be there
prepared.
for 7 hours straight, though.
That is
What?
true, Mr.
Not
Ward.
tomorrow.
We
So you're
also
taking
don't-
Wednesday then.
We also
Okay.
don't pay for public school.
So,
It's free.
You do if you're in athletics.
Alright,
I have to pay like.
let's move on. Alright.
Wait,
That's a towel
I have a
fee.
question. What are we doing
So,
Thursday
yeah,
and Friday?
But you don't.
Thursday I'm going to hand back your test scores so you can see what you got on your semester
And then
test. You can
Friday
see
we're
your
going to check out.
check out with your sign out sheets. Now, if you're not here Friday, the only way that I'll send your sheet early is if you have confirmation from the office. They send me an email saying that you're not here Friday, then I'll send your sheet on Thursday. But other than that, I sign them all on Friday during class, at the very end of class. You guys know the drill. Okay,
I do
all
know
right.
the drill.
Let's go to our problems here. So here we go. Okay.
We're on the last page, aren't we?
Yep. All right. We're gonna do the last page of your semester test, your practice guide here. All right. Now, after we're done with the last page, you'll have time today to work on whatever you need to, because I know there's a lot of semester tests coming up. There's a lot of projects. There's something for biology or something like that. Chemistry,
Yeah.
I
project
don't think
biology.
any of us are in.
I don't know the ages for that project.
I don't know the
Yeah,
age.
stop.
Our biology project.
Can I not show them the garbage?
No, seriously, hold on to it. All right. Okay. All right. We went through 1 and 2 and 3 on Monday, or sorry, Wednesday last week.
Wait, so are we going to finish this today?
Yeah, we did the second page on Thursday last week, and I'll make sure that video is online. Friday, we did these two. I wasn't here, but the video had them all. You can watch the video online. I made sure it's there. And today, we're doing the last page. If you were gone for any of those review days last week, I'll make sure they're online right after school today. I'm going to stick around until they're all working and they all look right. Okay, that way you can make sure that at any point tonight, if you need to watch a video, you know, and you can watch it the next couple days.
Sit down.
What is this?
Why'd you give that to him?
So, okay, here we go. Hey, I'm going to go through this pretty quick. Make sure that you are ready to go. All right. Now, on problem number 11, you have to break this up to multiple logarithms, and you want to try to get it where there's no power on them. You want to drop them out front. So what I mean by that, on this first one, what I'm doing is I'm going to separate the top, and I'm going to subtract the logarithm of the bottom.
How do we know that's the thing we have to do?
It says expand.
Yeah, I know, but how do we know that that's the first step?
That's-
Because it's division.
Yeah. All right. Next.
I actually didn't understand.
Okay, next. I'm going to change the power on the radical to be a half power, because remember, any type of radical, you can always make a fraction. If it's a square root, you put half. If it's a third root, you put a third. If it's a fourth root, you put a fourth. That type of thing. Now, the last step that I have to do here is drop that power out front, and then, so drop that power out front here. I can't do anything left in here. There's nothing being multiplied together. It's just being added, so I can't do anything with that. We're going to drop the power out front. So this will go here, and then this item turns into a number.
2.
Yeah, and you just put that there. Just put the number 2 there, because what you're trying to figure out is a log base 8 of 64. It's what number you put on an 8 that makes 64. What power do you put on it? So that's why this is a number. So you should have a number sitting there, which we said was 2. You drop that power out front. That number is going to go here with the log 8 and blah, 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 blah. All right, you get the idea, right? Okay, on test day, it'll be something sitting there. You have to expand it out. I don't know how many logarithms it will take you. I don't know what you'll have. Now, the only thing I'm worried about is on the certain logarithm where they have something like this. let's go log base 5,
And
x
it's gonna be
squared
under
y.
test.
It'll be something like it. I'm worried about this part right here where they have things being multiplied together. You have to separate them into their own logarithm still. This really caught people in the last test. That you have to separate these into their own logarithms because they're being multiplied. So you can add the two logarithms together, and this power can drop out front because the square is on the x. For some reason, people didn't know that you could do that. Remember, when items are being multiplied, you can separate them into their own logs being added. If they're being divided, you can separate them into subtraction. So make sure you know both. I might even do a combination of both of them.
Please don't. Please don't.
Ready to go?
I feel like you already have the semester test written.
So you know if you're going to do that, and did you do that? Is
Why would he tell us if he did?
He did. He just shook his head. Yes,
He said, and I quote, "I'm worried that this might get some people."
Intent. All right, moving on. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, all right.
That's it.
12. Okay, this problem requires that.
Opposite of expanding. Opposite of
Okay.
expanding.
Yeah, it's the opposite of expanding, but you're also solving. Okay, so let me go through this pretty quick. Here we go. So this is going to be log base 2. I want to combine these back down to here. That these are being divided in one single logarithm. Notice when I'm combining them down, I have one logarithm out front. The reason I'm allowed to do that, they have the same log. I'm allowed to do that. On the other side, this side is already a logarithm. I don't need to do anything with it. Okay, now if that side was a number, then my next step will be a little bit different. Like if this is just like a whole number over here, like a 2 or a 4.
17.
Then the trick is you go, if this is a number over here, you take this number to this power, like, so if this is a 4, go 2 to the 4th power, which is like, 16. Then you set that equal to this thing, what's ever here. Because you do a circle method to go back. But on mine, I don't have a number over there, so what I'm allowed to do is, since there's two logarithms,
Cancel.
you're just allowed to cancel them.
Excellent.
And then what we have here is this, and you can cross multiply and then solve for x. Okay, now this one will require that you factor and all that good stuff. So I'm going to multiply this across diagonally, multiply this across diagonally. That's how you solve proportions.
What is it?
Cross multiply, so x times x minus 1.
X squared minus X.
1 times x plus 3. And then whatever you get, you'll have to subtract everything over, and then you'll get a trinomial and you factor it apart. There's probably going to be two different answers. Logarithms typically have two different answers for your problem, and then you'll have to figure out which one works. I'm going to stop there. You have to finish the rest by yourself. You probably recognize the problem. Again, distribute, move things around so you can factor it apart and figure out the answers. Remember, you cannot use negative numbers. Like, if any of these problems had negative numbers to plug in, I would probably have a problem because, number one, you can't put a negative number in here. And down here, I can't plug a 0. So that would be something you'd have to throw out. Okay,
What?
are we good? All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, the next one, this is based on all vector stuff. So these next three problems are identical to what you're going to see on your test.
So the seniors didn't have to do this. is what
No,
you're
the
saying.
seniors did not have this second part. They ended at 12.
Do we get an extra credit?
So,
That should
for
be
you
nice.
guys? No. So you just have a different category in the grade book. So, all right. So to find the specific vectors, you're doing vector addition and subtraction and scalar multiplication. So on this one, I'm going to walk you through the majority of the steps that people get wrong here. Can I erase this?
Yeah, you can.
Number
That's too bad.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's scroll up so you guys can see this. All right.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Okay. So to do 3u, this is how it's going to work. I'm going to take 3 times whatever u is. U is negative 2i plus 3j. So I'm going to take 3 times that because that's this part right here. Now I'm going to subtract in parentheses. I'm subtracting a 4 times whatever v is. V is a 6i minus 1j. And then I'm going to also subtract w off of that. So I'm going to subtract the negative 3i. Alright, So this is writing down everything I'm doing. Basically, it's just a big Algebra 1 problem. Your final answer should have I's and J's unless, you know, one of the letters cancels out. That could definitely happen. What I would definitely do first, distribute this first, the 4, to both of these. I would distribute the negative sign to the back here, combine like terms, before I even deal the negative sign through this bracket, so that I know how to solve it. Okay, your final answer, whatever your final vector is, it'll be I, J component form. Just make sure you write down your final answer. I'm expecting some goofy numbers.
Some goofy.
Goofy numbers. Okay, are we good?
Hey, what'd you get?
Alright, we're moving on. Okay, let's go to 14. Alright, thank you guys can handle vector addition, subtraction by yourself.
Final answer. Is it negative 33i plus 5j?
Yes, something like that.
I got negative 27.
You really should get 27 right.
Alright.
You did great.
Okay, we're good? Moving on to 14.
And then you have to add in
Alright, this one. This one I'm probably most worried about because we talked about it Thursday. We talked about it Wednesday, but it's one of those brand new formulas where you actually have to know the formula. It's not something that is just easily to memorize.
Would that be on the board?
No. This formula you can add to your property sheet because you're allowed to use your property sheets for the semester test. Here's the formula you need to have written down on your property sheet. Dot product of your two vectors equals the magnitude of the first vector times the magnitude of the second vector cosine the angle in between.
This is the one we want to
Okay,
write.
that's the one you want to add to your property sheet.
Write on your property sheet.
Okay, so let me walk through this prompt so you know it all the way through it. Okay, it's one thing to see the formula; it's another thing to see it like actually being used. So the dot product. To find this part right here, you have to multiply the i's together. So what I usually do is I usually stack the two vectors on top of each other. It just makes it easier to see this. So I stack them. I'm going to multiply the I components together. That's 4. I'm going to multiply the j numbers together, which is -6. And you're going to add those two together, which is -2. That is your dot product right here. That really always gets people. They don't know how to do that correctly. That you just multiply the I numbers and j numbers and you add the two numbers together. Notice there's no variables when you do a dot product. It's just a digit. Okay? Again, I took 4 times 1 to -3 times 2. Now, the magnitude in the back. Alright, so magnitude in the back. It's a big square root per magnitude. So how you find magnitude is you square each of these items separately. So I'm going to do W first. So you square 4, you square the -3. So 4 squared plus the square root of -3. The square of -3, I should say. So this turns out to be 16 plus 9, which is the square root of 25. Okay. Alright, so that's W. That's the magnitude of W. That's how long W is. W is 5 in length, basically. Now, the magnitude of V. Magnitude of V, I square these numbers, which are 1 and 2, right? So I square 1, I square the 2, so that's 1 plus 4, so I get square root of 5. Okay, cosine the angle in between, and the -2 is on the other side. Alright, so the next step, I would divide both radicals over. If you want to multiply those together and say that's, what, 125, that's fine, you can multiply that across. That just makes it a little bit easier to look at maybe, that you make this one radical, because you can multiply any radicals together, so that's a radical of 125. Even though I know that's a nice number, you can multiply. Then I can divide it over, so this is -2 divided by the square root of 125. And that's going to be a weird decimal, right? So you're going to take -2 divided by that, and then you're going to have to take the inverse cosine to find the angle in between.
So what are we going to get there?
Since it's negative, it's going to be a 2. So I would expect a number like 120 in that ballpark.
Oh,
Is it degree mode? Yes, it is. So -2 divided by the square root.
how did I get -2? I don't understand.
I got 91.
The dot product, so we multiply the I numbers together, and you add the multiplication of the J numbers. So it's 4
I got
plus
91.
Okay, 91. Okay, fine, 91.
Is that right?
This
Square root of
better check.
125. Take the inverse cosine of that last answer. I'm getting 100.
I got 100 too.
I'm getting 100.3.
100. Oh, I'm getting
Wait,
that.
what did you get? Negative,
That's what I got, Lord.
negative point
Yeah,
one
it's on my
seven
calculator.
I
nine?
use the calculator in my brain, and that's what I
Negative
get.
point one
Ray has
seven
a
nine?
machine in his head.
Something like that, but I would go like 4 or 5 decimal places in to
It's
be
not even a
accurate.
computing device.
4 or 5?
Yeah.
Which one? I was going to 8 this whole year, and you told me that wasn't accurate enough.
You're right. You're not accurate. You might want to go 10.
I only
Kinda
have
hard to
9.
go to 10.
Make it 20 then, Justin.
All right.
Can we use Desmos?
Then we can get to,
Oh, Desmos would solve all of our
Okay.
issues.
Tori, let me know if you're not getting that. Are you in the right mode?
Can we use
Oh, I
Alfa
just,
Romeo?
I did only
Oh my
point
God.
seven, point one seven eight,
Yeah.
point one seven eight eight eight.
It really makes a difference, 1 or 2 decimal
it
places,
honestly does.
that you would get a significantly different number. Like you're getting what, 90
Yeah, I knew.
versus 100. Like this is a huge difference.
That's a
Like,
10% difference.
That's the
My
guy.
1 decimal.
Yeah.
Hey, we're doing shit.
Question.
Maybe use Alfa
We're
Romeo
sitting
on the
next to
test.
Tesla.
Alfa Romeo? Like the car company? Probably not.
No, Alfa Romeo.
Like the website. He's got that.
What's that?
Wolf from Alpha.
Oh, no.
I call it Alfa Romeo.
Okay, we're good?
Yeah, rock and roll.
Okay, moving on. Last problem of the day. This one we did on Thursday and Friday last week.
He's like, sorry.
Can we?
Last problem. It's
Engineers,
all right. This is a system-based problem.
Yes.
Okay, now number 15. This is the last problem of your semester test. It'll look exactly like this. You can solve the system with any choice, any method of choice that you want.
Have we learned this before?
Yeah, we talked about it last Thursday, Friday, and the reason why.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I was like,
You've done it before. We talked about it last Thursday, Friday because these were the one problems that the book assigned. They had them like in the chapter of vectors. You forgot where vectors cross, but I didn't give you any homework problems on it. But we need it for calculus. So we reviewed it Thursday, Friday, and then I said it's gonna be on the semester test. Just one problem. Okay, so what you have to do, if you pick elimination method or substitution. Now, I'm gonna go elimination, that's the method I prefer. If you wanna go substitution, that's fine.
Can you show us
X
substitution?
plus 3. Do we have to graph the vectors?
No. You just have to find the final coordinate.
Oh, I thought.
Dory sounds better.
Okay, alright. I'm gonna do elimination method, so
Shut up.
I'm gonna pick the letter Y's. The reason why is that they're already opposites, they're kind of easy numbers. So I'm gonna multiply the bottom row by 2, so the top row I'm gonna leave alone. And I'm gonna multiply the bottom row by 2, so get 8x plus 2y equals 16.
Copy all my homework.
You add straight down, it's 11x, that's gone, this is 11, and then you can solve x's are 1.
So then you're just gonna get.
Then you just plug it back in, you solve from there.
Y equals.
Y has to be a 4.
That's
So,
it? That's all
did it.
that it does?
That's all you have to do. Alright, now,
Insanely easy.
if you do it by substitution method,
That's gonna get a little bit trickier.
so if you have to do it by substitution method, I would probably go with that second one. Alright, so if I went with that second equation, I would get the y by itself. Like that, I would move that 4x over. If you're gonna do the substitution method, you don't have to do both, you just have to do one. But this is what I would do on the first case, I would move that 4x over. That way I'm putting all of this stuff in for the y that's in the top equation. You're substituting what y is equal to. So that's 3x minus 2, and you're plugging in the 8 minus 4x into the y location. And then if you actually solve, you're gonna figure out x has to be a 1 anyway. So, it'd be the same numbers you'll get out of learning x equals. Alright, questions, comments about it?
I've gotta get the hang of this one.
Okay.
Before I see you're charging your batteries actually.
I'm trying to make sure they're ahead before.
I think my beta
Okay,
better than your
alright.
beta award. My beta's blue.
Practice guides due tomorrow. You will not get them back. So you need to take a picture of it. You need to take a picture of your practice guide tonight. I'll make sure all the videos are online today. I'll just put Monday through Thursdays back. All I have to do is hit publish again to make sure they're up. I removed them so Friday you wouldn't click on the wrong video if you're watching it by yourself. But I'll make sure they're online. I totally forgot to do that this weekend.
How are we supposed to do redos?
You don't. All late work was due Friday. I made
How
sure.
is this a late work?
What do you mean?
What if you don't turn this in?
What if, whoa, listen.
When you fail class.
How are we supposed to redo this if we get something?
Wait, is the quarter technically
You might not.
Mr. Ward, have you ever given
Better not
someone
make a mistake.
Mr. Ward!
So, I expect perfection on
You're
this.
expecting us to be perfect? We're only humans.
Perfect.
Mr. Ward, I have a question.
I expect nothing less than
Mr.
perfect.
Ward is a machine.
If I write a paper on math theory, do I get extra credit?
No.
Why not?
Yeah, high five, that's about it.
Why don't I get
Will it be
a?
published on your page?
I might publish it, yes.
Why do I not get a extra credit point?
Because I didn't ask you to do
An
it.
extra credit
What about a
opportunity.
quarter of an extra credit point?
No.
How much for 10 extra credit points?
Yes. What?
I don't do extra
An
credit.
extra
If I
credit.
vandalize a different school's math department, do I get extra?
No.
That's
Actually, you might just fail my class.
how come?
Because you're damaging the math of... What class do you not like?
They're competitive.
I respect math too much for that.
They're competitive.
class do
Yeah,
you
what
not
class
like?
do you not like?
Mr. Ward, do you think I can make this?
No, you're.
Ball of paper.
Now,
Hey,
you guys ready for your 1v1?
Let me see this. I'm gonna distribute what Haw did on Saturday. Give me that.
Are you guys ready for your 1v1?